Hello all, and I'm back again, and as you can see I'm with a collection of minifigures. Obviously these guys are all from the Lego Disney Series 2 line, apart from this guy, but he's there for a reason. Oh, he's kind of in the series. It's my Jack Skeleton, as we've seen so many times. And this video isn't specifically about these guys. These were just some minifigures I had on my desk at the moment, and they were using as a good example. Because I've noticed something for the longest time with minifigures, and finally that sort of bit of curiosity just started scratching and got the better of me. And that's to do with their necks. So here's one of the chipmunks, Chip or Dale, I don't know. And if I pull off his head, sorry there buddy, can you see that there? That marking on his neck piece, that neck peg I think they call it officially, I'm just going to call it a neck for this video. It's got like a weird black mark on it, and for the longest time I've known Lego minifigures to have this sort of marking on their neck. And I finally sort of thought, what's that all about then? Because obviously it's not a design thing, because you can't see it half the time when you've got a head on them. And it's pretty consistent. So if we look at this guy, this is my other Chip and or Dale. I should have checked who it is. He's got it too. There it is right there. And who else has it? I think Jafar has it as well. Let's have a look at Jafar. I've got two Jafars actually. Let's pull his head off. Yep, there's his little neck marking as well. His one's white this time, so it's not always the same colour. It is always present. Well, almost always present, because if I look at one of these ducks, once again, I don't know which one it is. His isn't there. And neither is Hades, I believe. Oh, just pulled off one of his things. One of his 5 pieces. Nope, no head, no neck mark there. Minnie doesn't have it either, I believe. Nope, no mark there. So it's interesting. It just got me thinking, I've known this mark for so much of my life, and I've never really known what it's about. And I say for so long in my life, because that's what this guy's here for. As you know, I built this minifigure about 15 years ago, probably. Maybe less time, maybe more time. And even he has it as well. So, you know, it goes a long way back, this sort of weird neck marking. It comes in a variety of colours. But, however, it's not always the case. Some minifigures do have it, some minifigures don't. So, what decides if they do or don't have it? At first, I thought it was to do with printing. I thought if a minifigure has printing on the body, it would be on there. As you see with this guy, Jack, well, my faux Jack, he has printing on his torso, so he has the neck mark, as does Chip and or Dale. He's got the printing on the body, so he would have the neck mark, as does Jafar, as we looked at earlier. And if we look at the ones with the non-printed torsos, you can see no mark. Interesting. Once again with Minnie, no mark. Interesting. This whole video is just me pulling off minifigures' heads like some sort of psychopath. However, that kind of fell flat because I noticed Hades, who does have a printing on his torso, lacks the mark on either side, and it's always on the front side as well. I ought to mention. I haven't mentioned that yet. The mark is never in a normal minifigure on the back, so it's on the front, not on the back. It's always on the front of the torso, never the back. So why is this? Well, I did a little bit of research into it just because I was curious, really. I wanted to know what it was all about. Why do so many minifigures have this mark, and what decides if they do and if they don't? And apparently it's a production thing. I was doing some research, I gave it a Google, looked into it. It's all to do with manufacturing. So Lego, despite coming from Denmark, is not all made in Denmark. They actually have a few factories around the world that print and make Lego pieces. Obviously the main one is in Billund, but they have ones all over the world. Specifically for this case, China. They have a production factory in China. And like I said, this is to do with production. So the... let me get one again with a marking, U. So this mark on the neck is apparently put on a minifigure so the machines can figure out which way it is, so they know where to print it and what way to put the arms in. So the machines can figure out, oh, I see that, that must mean that's the front, that means I put the design on here and put the arms on this way. And that the cameras on the machines help them realise this, so they do it like that. But apparently that's the old way of doing it. Apparently, like in the older factory in Denmark, they have the older technology that allows them that. So it's not as up to date, so they just have to use that sort of way of figuring out what's what. Figuring out there's the mark, I put the arms in, and the torso printing on the other way. However, like I said, they have factories in China as well, and apparently because that's a newer factory, that means they have newer technology. And it's with this newer technology, they don't need this marking on them anymore. The newer technology, you can just figure out which way's the front of the minifigure and which ways to put the arms in. So that would explain why a guy like Hades over here doesn't need the neck mark there, because he's probably made in the Chinese factory and can figure out which way to put it all in, because it's using the newer technology that doesn't need that mark. So I found that pretty interesting, and I don't know how true it is. Like I said, I gave it a Google, and that's what came up on a stack exchange on Lego, I believe. That's where I'm getting this information from. It'll be linked down below. And apparently this also includes why certain minifigures do and don't. Apparently it says very briefly that the collectible minifigures are produced in the Chinese factories. So if these guys are collectible minifigures, so why do they have the marks on them? Surely if they come from the newer factory. I don't know. Like I said, I haven't got all the answers. It was just something I was interested in, and I wanted to know a little bit more about. So I did some diving into it, and there's the answer for you, apparently. So yeah, guys, that's just a little bit of my Lego curiosity solved for now. I'm really happy I finally know that. I've always wanted to know what that mark on the neck was all about, and now I do. And now hopefully you guys do too. Whether you were curious about it or not curious about it, but saw this video and thought, I want to know about that. Anyway, guys, take care.